Imagine for a moment that you're facing someone who seems to thrive on pushing your buttons, stirring up your emotions, or trying to make you feel small. How often do you let others affect your peace of mind? Do you find yourself feeling agitated, angered, or insulted by the actions of someone who doesn't truly know you? Today, let's explore how Stoicism, an ancient philosophy for modern problems, can help you overcome your enemies without ever needing to lay a finger on them. With simple but profound practices, you can rise above the chaos, building resilience and strength from within. So, let's look at how mastering our emotions, practicing self-control, ignoring insults, dedicating ourselves to self-improvement, practicing indifference, and holding onto our integrity can help us stand taller and remain unshakable. First, let's talk about mastering your emotions. It's natural to feel anger, frustration, or pain in the face of conflict, especially when someone seems to be intentionally causing harm. But have you ever noticed how giving into these emotions actually gives your enemy power over you? They know they're getting to you, and that sense of control fuels their satisfaction. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic thinker, wrote about how we have the power to stand apart from our emotions, to view them like observers, and to choose our response. The truth is, we cannot control other people's actions, but we can control how we respond to them. By choosing not to respond with anger or frustration, you take that power back. The next time someone tries to provoke you, try taking a deep breath, grounding yourself in the moment, and reminding yourself that you are in control. Your response is yours to decide. And remember, nothing frustrates a troublemaker more than a target who remains calm, cool, and collected. Following this comes self-control. Think about the strength it takes not to react impulsively when someone taunts you or acts against you. Imagine being in a situation where someone criticizes you or throws an insult your way. Your first instinct might be to respond, to defend yourself, or even to strike back. But what if, instead, you paused? What if you took a moment to consider whether a reaction is even necessary? This pause is where your true power lies. Self-control is about training ourselves not to be led by instinct, but by choice. When you don't react immediately, you're showing your enemy that you're not an easy target. You're demonstrating that you have the discipline and maturity to handle yourself under pressure. As the Stoics would say, self-control means mastering yourself so that no one else can. Next, ignoring insults is another way to keep your enemies powerless. Picture this. Someone makes a snide remark about you, expecting you to take offense or lash out. But what if you simply brushed it off? Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, suggested that insults only have power when we choose to let them affect us. If someone called you by the wrong name repeatedly, it might annoy you. But what if you simply stopped caring about it? It becomes meaningless, like noise in the background. Insults are the same. Their power lies only in our reaction. By refusing to respond or to let insults bother us, we deny our enemies the control they crave. We can see their words for what they are, just words. And in doing so, we save our energy for things that actually matter. Now, let's consider self-improvement as a defense. Often, when we're hurt by others, we focus on how we can make them see their mistake, how we can make them understand our point. But what if, instead, we use that energy to become better versions of ourselves? When we commit ourselves to self-improvement, we're not just growing for ourselves. We're silently defeating those who want to see us fail. The best revenge, as they say, is living well. Imagine focusing all your time and energy on developing your skills, learning, growing, and building the life you want. You're proving that they don't have any power over your success, no matter what they say or do. Your growth speaks louder than any retort ever could. And in the process, you may just find that their negativity becomes a tool for your own advancement. The Stoics also speak of practicing indifference toward things outside our control, and this is a powerful way to stay unaffected by an enemy's actions. Imagine how much lighter life would feel if you could simply be indifferent to what others thought of you, or to how they treated you. Stoic wisdom reminds us that we are not responsible for the thoughts, feelings, or actions of others, only our own. When you learn to become indifferent to someone's negativity, you free yourself from an invisible chain. Your peace becomes unshakable because you've stopped letting your well-being depend on things outside yourself. You've stopped giving away your power. Ask yourself, is this person's opinion or action worth my peace of mind? If the answer is no, then let it go. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your own well-being and growth than about petty actions. Now let's talk about holding on to integrity. Integrity is one of the most valuable shields you can have. It's tempting to react, to engage, to even compromise our values in an attempt to get back at someone who has wronged us. But think about it. When you hold firm to your values, to what you know is right, you build unshakable respect for yourself, even if no one else acknowledges it. By staying true to your principles, you strip away any chance for your enemy to tarnish your character. Even if they spread lies or try to twist your actions, people will see the truth eventually if you remain true to who you are. Stoicism teaches that the only reputation worth keeping is one rooted in integrity. By consistently acting with honesty, respect, and fairness, you become untouchable. Your actions speak louder than any criticism, and those who know you will see the truth of your character. Now tell me, have you ever thought about the power of standing for what you believe in, even when it feels like the world is against you? When life challenges us, or people try to bring us down, it's easy to feel like we have to compromise our values to get by. But imagine if, instead, you held on to your integrity so firmly that no one could shake it. Let's continue our journey through Stoic wisdom, where we'll explore how we can rise above conflict by holding firm to our principles, embodying tranquility, turning adversity into an advantage, keeping perspective, and leading by example. Let's look at holding integrity above all else. Integrity is like an anchor. In turbulent times, when people try to push you, insult you, or question your character, your integrity keeps you grounded. Have you ever noticed that those who compromise their values end up in endless conflicts, always needing to explain or defend themselves? When you live with integrity, you create a shield that even the harshest critic can't break. Others may try to tarnish your reputation, but if you're true to yourself and your values, their words lose power. Imagine how it feels to stand up and know that, no matter what others say, you're living according to what you believe is right. Your inner peace becomes untouchable, and over time, people start to recognize your honesty and strength. Even those who may have opposed you might start to respect you for your unwavering principles. Next is embodying tranquility. Picture yourself as a rock in a raging river. The water is fierce, crashing against you, yet you remain steady and unmoved. This is the tranquility Stoicism teaches us to cultivate. Marcus Aurelius talked about finding calmness within yourself, even when the world is in chaos. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to remain calm, no matter what others say or do? When you cultivate inner peace, you don't let external events or people dictate your mood or actions. And just like the river rock, people will see that they can't easily disturb you. Their words, their judgments, they flow around you without leaving a mark. Imagine how freeing it is not to get swept up in others' emotions, but instead to stay centered. You're not ignoring reality. You're choosing to respond with strength rather than being tossed around by every wave. Now let's talk about turning adversity into advantage. Life will always throw challenges our way. Sometimes, these challenges come in the form of people who seem determined to bring us down. But what if we could view these obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger? Stoicism teaches us that every difficulty can be a tool for self-improvement. When someone criticizes or undermines you, use that experience to build resilience. Let it sharpen your patience, your empathy, your understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, try to see them as stepping stones to something greater. When you embrace adversity, you're no longer a victim of circumstance. You become the master of your own growth, and every challenge your enemies throw at you becomes fuel for your inner fire. Now consider the power of keeping perspective. In the grand scheme of things, how much does the opinion of a single critic really matter? The Stoics remind us that life is fleeting, that we're each just a small part of a vast universe. When you remember that the actions or words of others are only temporary, it becomes easier to let go of their negativity. Ask yourself, will this matter to me in a month, in a year, at the end of my life? When we focus on the big picture, we gain a sense of clarity that makes petty conflicts feel small and unimportant. This doesn't mean you disregard your own emotions or dismiss others entirely, but that you choose to focus on what truly matters to you in life. Imagine the strength that comes from knowing your purpose, from not being weighed down by every minor challenge or criticism. Your perspective becomes your guide, helping you rise above. Now let's discuss leading by example. In a world where so many people resort to conflict, retaliation, and negativity, choosing to be a person of integrity, calmness, resilience, and clarity is truly revolutionary. When you lead by example, you show others that there is another way to handle conflict, a way rooted in wisdom and strength rather than anger or vengeance. Think about it. By staying true to yourself, by maintaining peace within, by growing from adversity, and by focusing on what's truly important, you become a role model. Those around you, even those who might initially oppose you, can't help but notice. Your quiet strength has the power to inspire change in others. And in doing so, you defeat your enemies in the most profound way possible, not by overpowering them, but by showing them a better way. So, as you walk this path, hold on to your integrity, find tranquility within, use adversity to your advantage, maintain perspective, and let your actions speak louder than any words. This journey requires patience and courage, but the strength you'll gain will be a power that no enemy can match. True victory, as the Stoics understood, comes not from conquering others, but from mastering yourself. Let your resolve, your peace, and your wisdom become the quiet force that guides you through any conflict. And remember, in standing firm, you're not only building a shield for yourself, you're creating a path others will one day follow. Now let me know, have you ever noticed how much time and energy people spend on conflicts, arguments, and negativity? Now think about this. What if instead of reacting to others' hostility, you chose a different path, one that frees you from conflict and strengthens you from within? Let's dive into the final Stoic principles for overcoming those who oppose you without ever engaging in hostility. We'll explore how refusing to engage in negativity, cultivating forgiveness, practicing gratitude for lessons learned, outshining with success, letting karma take its course, and detaching from reputation concerns can help you live with strength, peace, and resilience. Let's talk about the power of refusing to engage in negativity. Imagine someone approaches you with a harsh word or an angry attitude, expecting you to respond in kind. It's so tempting to snap back, isn't it? But what if instead, you simply chose not to respond? By refusing to get pulled into negativity, you create a boundary that others can't cross. Stoicism teaches us that we don't have to engage with every bit of negativity that comes our way. When someone tries to provoke you, they're looking for a reaction. They want you to respond, to defend, to argue. But by choosing silence or a calm response, you're showing them that they don't control you. Imagine the strength it takes to simply walk away from negativity, to let others' words or actions pass without letting them affect you. This is not about weakness. It's a sign of profound inner strength and peace. Now, let's consider forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as condoning bad behavior, but in reality, it's about freeing yourself. When you forgive someone, you're not excusing what they did. You're choosing not to carry the burden of anger and resentment. Think of it like releasing a weight from your shoulders. Is it really worth holding on to anger, letting it consume your thoughts and drain your energy? The Stoics believe that by forgiving, we free our minds to focus on what's truly meaningful. It's a gift you give yourself. Imagine forgiving someone who hurt you, not for their sake, but to release yourself from the emotional chains of resentment. When you forgive, you're no longer allowing that person to take up space in your mind. Instead, you move forward, lighter and unburdened. This brings us to practicing gratitude for lessons learned. Life is full of challenges, and many of them come in the form of difficult people or situations. When we face someone who tries to bring us down, it can be incredibly tough to see any silver lining. But what if instead, you could view these challenges as lessons? Every hardship, every confrontation, every difficult interaction can teach you something about yourself. Your patience, your resilience, your ability to rise above. Marcus Aurelius wrote about welcoming challenges because they reveal your strength. So the next time you encounter someone difficult, try asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Practicing gratitude doesn't mean being grateful for pain, but for the growth that comes from overcoming it. By viewing each challenge as a stepping stone, you transform adversity into opportunity, and you become stronger and wiser with each experience. Now let's focus on outshining with success. Have you ever heard the saying, "Success is the best revenge"? Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, and often, the best way to rise above negativity is to focus on your own goals and let your achievements speak for themselves. Imagine dedicating all your energy not to arguing with someone who doubts you, but to improving yourself, reaching new heights, and building a life you're proud of. When you achieve success through your own hard work, it silences critics without a single word. Your success becomes proof that you don't need to respond to negativity. Your accomplishments speak louder than any argument ever could. This isn't about proving others wrong, but proving to yourself that you're capable of greatness, no matter what others say or do. Another principle is letting karma work naturally. The Stoics believe that there is a natural order in life, a kind of justice that happens without our interference. Have you ever noticed that often, people who act with malice or negativity eventually face the consequences of their actions? Instead of seeking revenge or trying to teach them a lesson, what if you trusted that things will take care of themselves? This doesn't mean wishing harm on anyone. It means recognizing that life has a way of balancing out, that people who act with bad intentions often end up facing the results of their actions. Imagine the peace you can find by letting go of the need for revenge, trusting that karma will do its job. You don't need to dirty your hands. Let life take care of those who do wrong. This way, you maintain your own peace and dignity, rising above their behavior without lowering yourself to it. Now let's talk about detaching from reputation concerns. So often, we worry about what others think of us, and this can hold us hostage to their opinions. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from not letting others' views control our happiness. Marcus Aurelius once said that it's not the opinion of others that should matter to us, but rather our own character. Think about it. How often do you let fear of judgment stop you from being true to yourself? What if instead you could simply let go of that concern? Detaching from reputation doesn't mean ignoring others entirely, but valuing your self-respect over their approval. When you live authentically, according to your own values, you're free from the constant worry of how others see you. Imagine the liberation of being able to live by your own principles, regardless of who's watching or what they might say. Your true worth isn't determined by someone else's opinion, but by the strength of your own character. Let's go deeper into the idea of rising above challenges and conquering negativity without conflict. Imagine living in a way that every difficult encounter strengthens your peace instead of disturbing it. In addition to the Stoic principles we've discussed, there are other powerful ways to handle opposition that don't involve direct confrontation. Today, let's explore 5 more principles. Focusing on your purpose, practicing patience, embracing humility, cultivating inner contentment, and choosing your words wisely. Goal: how often do the opinions of others seem smaller and less important? Imagine you're working on something that truly matters to you, whether it's advancing your career, building a family, or improving yourself, and someone criticizes or tries to undermine you. If your focus is strong, you'll find that negativity slides off you more easily. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and your purpose is within your control. Ask yourself, does this person's opinion matter to my goal? Often, the answer is no, and you'll find that being rooted in purpose gives you the strength to ignore distractions and keep moving forward. Next, there's the power of practicing patience. In our fast-paced world, patience is often overlooked, yet it's one of the most powerful ways to respond to those who oppose you. Imagine someone trying to rush you into an argument or push you into making a hasty decision. When you practice patience, you're telling them that you won't be manipulated or pressured. Patience allows you to think clearly, to consider your actions wisely, and to respond with calm instead of impulse. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the value of being patient, of taking the time to let our reactions settle before responding. By waiting, you're giving yourself space to respond thoughtfully and constructively. You don't have to answer anger with anger. When you're patient, you stay grounded, and over time, others see that they can't easily disturb your peace. Another essential principle is embracing humility. When you think about humility, you might wonder, how does being humble help me overcome an enemy? Here's the key. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Often, conflict arises because we feel the need to defend our pride or ego. But when you're genuinely humble, others' opinions lose their grip on you. You don't have to react to every criticism because you're secure in who you are. Imagine someone challenging or doubting you, and you respond with quiet confidence instead of boastfulness. This humility not only disarms your critics, but also earns you a quiet respect that arrogance could never achieve. In staying humble, you show that your worth isn't determined by someone else's opinion, and this inner strength makes you truly resilient. Now let's talk about cultivating inner contentment. Stoicism teaches that true happiness isn't found in external things but within ourselves. Think of the times when people tried to disrupt your peace with criticism, jealousy, or negativity. If your happiness depended on their approval, their words could shake you. But if you cultivate a sense of inner contentment, you become immune to the ups and downs of others' opinions. Imagine being so content within yourself that no one's praise or criticism could disturb your balance. By finding fulfillment in who you are and what you have, you're less affected by the actions of others. You're no longer searching for happiness outside. You carry it with you. This self-sufficiency is like armor, protecting you from the negativity around you, because your well-being is rooted deeply within. Lastly, there's the art of choosing your words wisely. Words have immense power. They can build bridges or burn them, create peace or incite conflict. When faced with negativity, the words you choose can make all the difference. Instead of responding with anger, Stoicism encourages us to speak thoughtfully and respectfully, no matter the situation. This doesn't mean being passive. It means choosing words that reflect your inner strength and values. Imagine someone confronting you with harshness, and you respond not with equal harshness, but with calm, firm, and respectful words. When you respond with kindness and clarity, you not only diffuse the situation, but also show others that you're not easily shaken. Your words become a reflection of your strength, your wisdom, and your refusal to be drawn into unnecessary conflict. In conclusion, remember that focusing on your purpose, practicing patience, embracing humility, cultivating inner contentment, and choosing your words wisely are not only ways to avoid conflict, but also to build inner resilience. They help you rise above without confrontation, allowing you to handle any challenge with dignity and peace. The power of Stoicism lies in these quiet strengths, in knowing that true control doesn't come from dominating others, but from mastering yourself. So let these principles guide you, making you resilient in the face of any negativity. And as you practice them, you'll find that you become unshakable, standing strong in a world that often pulls others down. You become a source of peace and inspiration, showing others that true power lies within. Thank you.